What's poppin'? My name is Richie, and today we have update 14.60. This update is, I'm not gonna lie, it is not the biggest update in the world, but it has some very cool stuff in it. There's two major things which are now in the game or which are coming to the game in the future. And with that being said, let's get over the cool new stuff as quickly as possible. Okay, starting first, we have the Swarm Gallery here, which was previously bugged and like this half of the gallery could not be used because there was some other different terrain piece, but it's now finally fixed and we can use all of them. They also work, you can put them out here. That is great, love the texture of these, and that is also something very cool. But that is obviously nothing new. Now let's get to the new things. And there are a lot of new options in Fortnite Creative, first of all. So first of all, if you go into your island settings, there is a new option in your, I think it's in game. Let's check quickly. No, it's in settings. And if you go into settings, you scroll all the way down and then you see player elimination audio can now be disabled and enabled. And this also comes with something in UI, and if you go down in UI as well, there is hide elimination feed. And most of you guys probably know what this is for. This is for the Among Us remakes and stuff like that. So you can now finally hide the elimination feed without telling players to go into your settings and then go into your HUD menu and then turn off elimination feed. So you can now disable that by default from your games, which is amazing. Obviously, that is like very specific, but if you need that, that is just a saver, and it is super awesome. Also, there's like this party option, so you can actually also distinguish in between like party eliminations and normal eliminations, which I think is super cool and some quality of life change in Fortnite Creative. Let's move on to device settings that are new, and there's one which is like minor and nothing too super special, but in the mutator zone over here, which will come in a second, is something very cool. So let's quickly go into the class selector. There's a few new options, which are the activation audio and the zone audio can now be disabled. You can already hear, like maybe you cannot hear in the video, but you can see if I turn it on, you can hear the device, and now if you turn that off, you cannot hear the device anymore. Same goes for if you go into that thing and activate a class, then you can basically disable that, which is also like for all the Among Us maps and all the maps where you don't really want to hear that some player is changing or stuff like that. So that is obviously something very like quality of life improvement stuff. But in the mutator zone, there's something super cool, and that is a few new settings, which I'm really looking forward to. And that are the effect teams and effect classes. What that basically means is you can now have classes and specific teams selected in this mutator zone which only get affected by the mutator zone. Before that, there was a thing called save team, which was basically the opposite of that. They removed that, so you basically had one team which cannot get affected by that, but that is obviously not something that a lot of people can do because you have basically all the other classes which can still be selected in this, but now you can specifically choose which teams want to be affected. You can only select it, and whatever, you can have all the options in here. You can also do the same thing with classes, which I think is super amazing, and this can lead to a lot of more cool maps, which are currently not possible because of that, but now we can do. So I think that is some super amazing thing. Also, there's a new channels here, which update select teams when receiving from. So basically, that is all the channels that are referring to these two new options, which is, I think, pretty cool. So there's one more thing. As you guys might know, there is a new hub layout. So if we quickly go back to the hub, we can now have the official new hub selection thing. We can now go into our starter islands, and then we can go to the hub. And if we choose one of these two hubs, I would take the flat grid hub here, for example. And if we go into that hub, you can see the new layout. If you're not aware of that, the hub got new layouts. If you go here, you can see that you basically have like all the matchmaking portals here now, and then a few normal portals, and then you have like these practice teleportations where you can have like all these different maps and these top growing maps and stuff like that. But basically now they updated the hub layout, so if you want to create a hub, you are not stuck with the old layout, and you can finally do what's correct with the new hub, which is amazing. It's different, obviously. Yeah, let's just get away from here. So speaking of the hub, there's also some new updates for the hub. There's new guidelines, obviously, and you can all find that on the Epic website. I will link you guys obviously everything in the description. But there's also two other things which I think are very cool. The first one is that there's a new event which is winter themed as usual. So at the end of the year, there's always these little like featured events where you can create maps that are winter themed or frosty themed, and you can get a better chance to get featured because obviously they're looking for these maps. And you can submit them there. I think the deadline is like the 18th of December. So you can try to get finally your first feature or something. But there's also one very cool thing, and that is for all the map creators out there which already have maps that are featured or played or whatever. And that is an LTM, a creative LTM. That means that there will be an actual LTM in the Fortnite game. So like the normal LTMs, like Arsenal or whatever, one shot. There will be creative maps in these LTMs, which is amazing. So basically, we made it into the actual game with actual LTMs that we can now play in the main menu of Fortnite. So that will become probably next week or maybe later today. It is still not live to this point where I'm recording this, but I think that is a huge step for Fortnite Creative, and that basically means that your maps can now be played by even more players that don't have to go into creative. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what you think about the new hub, because I know it sparked some difference, and but with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video, and I will see you guys back in the next one.